Before my mom died, she told me, my son, do not bite on the finger that feeds you. The truth can never be bought with money. And it is left for me to speak out my truth from what I have seen so far since 2010 up until now. So to the Flotilla activists, were you treated like that Israeli hostage in Gaza? Or were you treated like other hostages in Gaza? Because I do not understand how you can say you think about the people of Gaza, but then you do not think about the people of Iran. Hello, what's up everyone? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your location. It's your boy, the Crackhead, and I'm wishing you all a wonderful new week. Welcome to another episode of Crackhead Exploration. Howbeit today, we're going to be doing something different. A lot of you do not know that I am an analyst as well as an explorer. So today we're going to be analyzing the stories we're seeing out there about the Flotilla activists who were released in Israel on the 21st of May, 2026. But before I get started, I want to say something, guys. In life, everything comes with a risk. No matter how careful you are about life, if it was meant to happen, it will surely happen. So why not live your life according to your terms? What am I talking about? There are some content creators and some vloggers who are scared of saying certain things because they know once they say what their fans or followers do not agree with, they are bound to lose followers and subscribers. Am I afraid that I'm going to lose few followers? Am I afraid I'm going to lose a lot of followers? Or am I even afraid that after this video, when you watch it, you're going to unfollow me? Well, maybe I am, but I love the truth. And I am always a bringer of the truth, no matter who the truth hurts. At least from my perspective, and from my experience and from living in the land of Israel for the past 16 years, I'm going to be speaking my truth. But first of all, what are the Flotilla activists saying? The majority of the international activists aboard the Gaza-bound global Samud Flotilla were released from Israeli detention on May 21st, 2026, ahead of their mass deportation to Turkey. A smaller group of foreign activists had been detained earlier and were deported from Israel on May 10, 2026.
Good evening. 11 Australians from the global Samud Flotilla are now in Turkey after being freed from Israeli detention.
Following their release and repatriation, many of the detainees reported allegations of severe abuse and mistreatment by Israeli authorities during their time in custody, claims that the Israel Prison Service has denied.
Israel has rejected allegations of mistreatment, claiming it handled the interception of boats carrying humanitarian aid to Gaza with great sensitivity. It says all those activists on board have now been deported.
Let us watch the footage.
Landing in Istanbul, Flotilla activists receive medical attention on arrival. The deportations from Israel follow a global outcry over their treatment. Among the 428 activists transported to Turkey, Australians Zach Schofield and Neve O'Connor, alleging they and other Flotilla participants were mistreated and abused while in Israeli custody.
During the immigration process, many people were injured just through acts of brutality. I myself was zip-tied in a torture position with my hands behind my back.
Many people were again beaten or sexually assaulted before they were forced to sit in what's called a stress position.
Israel's ambassador to Australia rejects the claims, saying none of the activists were harmed at any point while detained. The interception of boats in the global Samud Flotilla handled with what he calls great sensitivity.
Every time there's a flotilla, there are false narratives and false accusations against the security forces of Israel. The flotilla itself is a provocation, totally unnecessary.
Separate accusations of mistreatment in these videos have sparked international backlash. Israeli Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir's taunting of activists, widely condemned, including by top officials in Israel. Italy, Ireland and Spain are now calling on the EU to sanction the controversial far-right figure, a move already taken by Australia before the incident. The ambassador says moves to dissolve Israel's parliament prevent him from being fired.
We've seen a strong response from the foreign minister, from the prime minister. They've all got involved and condemned.
The flotilla is attempting to break a Gaza naval blockade and deliver aid. Israel claims it's a PR stunt, with aid already flowing through authorised channels. In Greece, a show of support for the flotilla's cause. Protesters in Athens marching in solidarity on the Israeli embassy.
We can only achieve more from here on. And I think the international outcry around the world has also helped our story and our mission to highlight the plight of folks in Gaza.
Activists saying Ben-Gvir's public display has only emboldened them further.
Did that activist just make mention of sexual assault?
Many people were again beaten or sexually assaulted before they were forced to sit in what's called a stress position.
All right. In life, we all know there are always three sides to a story. While I am not here to hammer on their truth because I wasn't there, but I am here to correct this narrative, especially when that activist made mention of sexual assault. And I know that these activists, with what they are saying and what they are alleging, they want the whole world, those people who do not like Israel, to rally behind them and protest alongside their narratives and see Israel as the devil you have always been seeing Israel. But again, let's think about it. These same activists that boarded the flotilla to Gaza, when last year, or was it early this year, Iran was busy destroying and killing and massacring their own people. Where were these activists? Did they board any flight to Iran? Did they board any boat or flotilla to Iran to help the people of Iran? Why is it that when something happens here in Israel, it's always a big and major news, and the activists or the people involved in such a news will want the whole world to form pity party with them? Why is that the case? Or the massacre that is going on in my own country, in Nigeria, the Boko Haram, the Fulani herdsmen, the insurgency that is making the news in Africa. Where is the global community?
The attack happened yesterday, Sunday, in the Kurmin Wali area of Kajuru, while families were gathering to praise God, to sing hymns, and to pray for a better Nigeria. The agents of darkness were surrounding them. A source who spoke to Sahara reporters and who has family members among the victims described the scene as something out of a horror movie. The bandits didn't just come for money, they came for people. They stormed multiple churches. Yes, not just one, but several at the same time. This tells you it was a planned, coordinated strike. They blocked the exits, fired shots into the air to cause panic, and then began to herd the congregants like cattle. Can you imagine the terror? Mothers clutching their babies, fathers trying to shield their wives. The choir stopping mid-song as men with AK-47s kicked open the doors. The report confirms that over 100 worshippers were forcibly taken. They were marched out of the house of God and into the deep forests of Kaduna. The source mentioned that around 10 people, mostly the elderly and those considered too vulnerable to walk long distances, were released by the attackers. This is a common tactic. They leave behind those who would slow them down so they can move the valuable hostages faster before security arrives. Authorities and security agencies have been notified, but as we speak, over 100 innocent Nigerians are trekking through the bush, likely without shoes, food, or water, facing an uncertain fate. This attack in Kurmin Wali is not an isolated incident. It is part of a bloody pattern that is turning southern Kaduna into a killing field.
Why are you guys not rallying around what is happening to Africans in Africa, or even the incessant killings in my country? Where is the news? I'm going to tell you why. Because no Jews, no news. Now, when it comes to what these guys are saying,
foi horrível, a violência foi muito gratuita, nós estivemos presos alguns dias num barco, havia 2 barcos, no nosso barco houve 2 pessoas que foram baleadas, uma na perna, o outro no baço, não sei como é que esse rapaz está. Batiam-nos, havia muita violência psicológica.
One of the things that struck me very badly, heavily, was when we were on the prison ship. Every now and then they came out and they threw stun grenades. They threw 2 at me, 1 on both sides. And then we had to come out, stand in line, and then 10 people would point guns at our faces as if we were about to be executed. And that was a moment where you stand like that and you think, okay, maybe this is the day.
E poi per arrivare su questo ponte in realtà siamo passati prima per una panic room, perché c'erano 3 della marina israeliana, ma proprio 3 belli grossi, che ci hanno malmenato in ogni modo. Con qualcuno addirittura hanno bagnati prima di usare il taser, ad altri c'era un ragazzo tedesco che aveva decine di colpi fatti con la punta del mitra, proprio e quindi c'aveva tutto un cerchio fatto di questi cerchietti fatti l'hanno proprio massacrato, e poi addirittura gli hanno anche sparato con proiettile di gomma, quello che era sul piede.
Ce qu'on constate, c'est que la Palestine, c'est vraiment un laboratoire des pratiques de torture, de violence, d'humiliation. Et en fait, nous, on a été témoins en fait d'une infime partie de ce que subissent les Palestiniens. Et vraiment, ça, c'est un truc qu'il faut vraiment prendre en compte, c'est que finalement, nous, le témoignage qu'on va vous rapporter ici, c'est que, enfin, c'est minime par rapport à ce que subissent les Palestiniens. Mais on voit qu'il y a vraiment une professionnalisation de la torture et de la violence dans l'armée coloniale, quoi.
if you are a follower or you've subscribed on this channel, you must have seen the video in the episode of how I was in prison here in Israel. And in that same video talking about SIA, 3 things that makes we foreigners love Israel: security, integration, and acceptance. SIA. In that video, I said something that some people who are deported or who were deported from Israel, most of my fellow Africans that were deported from Israel because they did not integrate into the country. By integrating, I mean they did not have the proper documents as a legal alien to stay in this country when they were deported or when they are deported. These are the people that go about and say bad things about this country. These are the people that rarely say good things about Israel. The thing, about most people, especially we Africans who were once here in Israel, once we were deported, we start saying bad things about the state. One should understand that, because you can't expect somebody who was deported to be praising the country he was deported from. I'm talking about deportation. Every country in the world, once you are an illegal immigrant and you are arrested, you cannot decide to the arresting body, or if it's in America, ICE, or in other countries, the immigration agents, you cannot dictate to them how they will treat you. I'm not saying they should treat you inhumanely, no. But if you're put in chains, if you're put in cuffs, you cannot tell them no. So talking about arrest, I said in my video about SIA that I was once in prison and I was arrested the same way every other illegal immigrant was arrested. In 2012, when I went to the city of Eilat, I was arrested based on no document status, meaning I was illegal, and I was in prison somewhere in Beersheba for like 2 weeks. Well, I took a lawyer, fought it out, and in 2 weeks I was released. Now guys, remember I'm still talking about integration, but those 2 weeks I was in this prison, I will tell you guys, I found favor in the sight of the prison guards, in the sight of the policemen. If, let's say, for example, I was deported eventually, trust me guys, maybe that video I made, I wouldn't have made it. Maybe I would be one of the people that will come around and give a bad narrative of how badly and how inhumanely I was treated in the Israeli prison. But guys, we just have to tell ourselves the truth. We just have to be honest with ourselves. Maybe some things went on, maybe didn't go on. But again, since these people in the first instance were against the state of Israel, after their arrest and release, of course, you would not expect less from these people. By less, I'm talking about, you would not expect them to come and say, oh, when we're in Israeli prison, they fed us well, they were nice to us. In fact, they treated us as kings. You will not expect that. So that by the time we hear these narratives, of course, we already knew this is what is going to come up. But again, also in 2023, when Hamas kidnapped, infiltrated this country, did their massacre and evil omen, and took more than 200 hostages to Gaza, did anyone protest when eventually, when we saw how Hamas treated those hostages in Gaza? To those of you who probably saw but you have forgotten because of short memory, guys, let's watch it again. I'm sorry to bring it up, but let's watch it again for the purpose of context. Guys, that was an inhumane treatment. Imagine telling a hostage to dig his own grave. Like I said before, I brought back that video for the purpose of context. So to the Flotilla activists who are spewing out and alleging that in the Israeli prison, they were treated inhumanely, they violated their human rights, please answer me this. Were you treated like that Israeli hostage in Gaza? Or were you treated like other hostages in Gaza? How many hostages died in the hands of Hamas? That, my friend, was an inhumane treatment. Were you treated that way before that guy was abducted and was kidnapped by Hamas? And look at his time in Gaza as a hostage, and look at the time he came out. Now, do you see any difference between how that guy looked before and after his release compared to you Flotilla activists that are alleging? Look, I am not trying to water down your stories. I am not trying to attack or bash your stories, because of a truth, there is freedom in speech. But also there is freedom in belief. A lot of people are going to believe you. But again, you that is watching this video, with what you have heard from this Flotilla activist, and with what went on in Israel on the 7th of October 2023 by Hamas, can you now see that what the Flotilla activists are doing, or what they even started doing, it doesn't actually make sense? Because I do not understand how you can say you think about the people of Gaza, but then you do not think about the people of Iran. Is it because Israel is not close to Iran? Is it because Israel is closer to Gaza? No, there is a point in humanity we have to come to the place of truth. As much as there are so many propagandas out there, it is left for you, the listener and the watcher of any propaganda, because for all I know, what I'm saying now to you, it might be a propaganda, because after all, people are already saying that I'm being paid to say whatever I'm saying in support of Israel. I am not being paid, guys. Before my mom died, she told me, my son, do not bite on the finger that feeds you. And ever since I came to the state of Israel in 2010, December, Israel has been feeding me. Israel has been giving me that opportunity to live. Israel has provided me with employment, with security. Israel has accepted me. And it is left for me to speak out my truth from what I have seen so far since 2010 up until now. It is my duty to speak out, because that's the only way I can pay back Israel for the acceptance, for the security, and for the integration. So there's no money involved. There's no payment involved. Because you know what? The truth can never be bought with money. So to those of you who are bent on believing the propaganda against Israel, everything is all out there in the internet. The truth is out there. But the question is, what are you going to believe? The truth or the propaganda? The lies or the sincerity? What are you going to believe? Well, again, I am not attacking the Flotilla activists with what they're saying. If you think everything is true, whatever they are reporting or alleging, then you are not being honest with yourself. You are not being honest with humanity. Because I do not understand, when Arabs are busy killing themselves in their own country, you will not see free Palestinians supporting on social media. But once it involves Israel and Gaza, that is when you are going to see free Palestine everywhere. And then you're going to see people bring up their own narratives to say what is not the truth. So, to the Flotilla activists, while I congratulate your release, while I am happy you guys have finally been released, but look deep within yourself. The things you are alleging, it is only between you and your God. Are they true? Do you have evidence that you were sexually molested? Do you have evidence of the inhumane things you claim happened to you in Israeli prison? Anyways, I'm here to speak the truth. It's your boy, the Crackhead. Once again, if you're following us for the first time, if you're subscribing to this channel for the first time, the truth might hurt you, or you might choose to unfollow me after this video. But like I said in the beginning, everything about life is risk. We need to take it in one way or the other, because if I do not make this video, if I do not say my piece and I do not say my truth, I'm not gonna have peace with myself. So for me, on all my videos, the first thing for me is my peace of mind. And how can I have that peace? By speaking my truth, so that if it is only one person that will choose to believe this truth and disregard the propaganda, then I know I have done my job. Thank you very much for following. Thank you very much for subscribing. It's your boy, the Crackhead. Hope to see you guys. If you do not unsubscribe, if you do not unfollow, then I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye for now, and God bless you.